I'm here in Ward County where the major drought has ERMWD looking elsewhere for water. We'll tell you why Ward County commissioners are concerned.
Memorial Gardens Park is drying up during a construction project. When will it be full again?
Isolated showers and thunderstorms around the Permian Basin this afternoon. Find out if that will last through the end of the week.
We are learning new details about a man who allegedly stabbed his wife outside the Stripes gas station here in Fort Stockton. We'll have that story for you coming up.
2 weeks after a gang-related shooting, where are police in their investigation?
Doesn't show up for today's Midland County Commissioners hearing to voice their opinions on the future of the Midland County Public Library. What both sides had to say coming up next.
CBS 7 News at 6 starts right now.
I just hope justice is served for her.
A community is still in shock after the murder of a young woman over the weekend. Bond has been set for the man accused of stabbing his wife in a convenience store parking lot.
Fort Stockton police tell us witnesses say Luis Orona saw Luis Orona arguing with his wife, Myra, early Saturday morning. Just a few hours later, she was found dead. Orona was later found in Fort Stockton. Friends and family tell us these two had a history of domestic disturbance calls. Tonight, we're in Fort Stockton asking investigators how this happened.
CBS 7's Mayron Berkson joins us now from there with the new details. Mayron?
It was just outside the Stripes gas station here in Fort Stockton where 25-year-old employee Myra Orona was stabbed to death. And the man arrested in connection with the stabbing was her husband, 40-year-old Luis Orona. And according to friends, they could have seen this unfortunate situation coming.
No, it's not a shock. She did keep her private life private, but, we were aware of some previous abuse, and so it's a sad day.
Fort Stockton residents who knew Myra Orona are remembering their lost friend.
Absolutely sweet person, always smiling, always joking around, just willing to help out. She worked at the Stripes store, and I'd go in there and hassle her and she'd be right on it.
But it was at the place where Myra Orona worked where her husband, Luis Orona, allegedly stabbed her, leading to her death. An incident police say comes as a surprise to them.
People knew her and people respected her, and there's a lot of people that liked her. And when you take somebody out of that community and the way she was, it sends a serious shockwave for the community. This just doesn't happen every day here in Fort Stockton.
Now, according to police, Luis and Myra Orona did have a past of domestic violence, something they didn't take lightly.
One of the most dangerous cause law enforcement officers respond to is domestic violence issues. And although we had some history, some domestic issues in this house, and leading up to the event, it's upon us, or even any law enforcement agency, to take every call that we get as far as domestic violence.
But for Chief Fuentes and the Fort Stockton Police Department, they say they are more worried about the present than the past.
I want to know what's going through his mind when the crime occurred. And sure, it's good to look back into the history and look at it, but what I'm focused with is what happened at that moment, at the time that he did what he did.
Now, Luis Orona is being held in a jail here in Fort Stockton on $500,000 bond, and the funeral of his wife, Myra Orona, will be held this Friday in her hometown of Ozona. For now, reporting in Fort Stockton, Mayron Berkson, CBS 7 News.
Mayron, thanks. There are services available to victims of domestic violence, even those in surrounding areas of the Permian Basin. Safe Place offers emergency shelter and legal assistance to 15 different counties in West Texas. They tell us about 4,000 domestic violence incidents are reported to police each year, but they deal with less than half of those, meaning many people are not seeking help.
So if people are willing to make a call, there is help that we can help either find some resources for them or help provide those services.
If you or someone you know needs more information on Safe Place of the Permian Basin, you can call 570-1465. That information is also up on our website at cbs7.com.
More stories that are all new at 6 tonight. Like everyone else in West Texas, Ward County is concerned about running out of water. Now they are looking for options like considering the creation of a water district.
But as CBS 7's Jennifer Samp tells us, the county wants to protect its water without regulations or taxes. Jennifer?
As lakes run dry, the Colorado River Municipal Water District is looking at Ward County groundwater to replenish their supply. This sparked a public hearing this morning about how to regulate or monitor the water being taken out of the county.
Water issues are becoming more critical the water availability, the quality of the water is becoming more critical.
Paul Weatherby with the Middle Pecos Groundwater Conservation District spoke at the Ward County Commissioner's Court about their groundwater and how to conserve what's theirs.
Water that they have under their respected area and have regulatory and statutory authority to do so.
Judge Greg Hawley says last summer CRMWD bought water rights to 13 acres of land, allowing them to pump 3 times as much groundwater out of Ward County.
Last year they acquired a large quantity of water rights in Ward County for the purpose of expanding their ability to supply water.
So that other people from out of area doesn't come in and farm and take away from our future.
Judge Hawley says the concern is finding that balance between protecting water and keeping regulations and taxes to a minimum.
As a citizen of the county, but also as a landowner with the irrigation well, I'm interested in what's going to happen with our water supply.
Hawley says the court has not taken a position on whether they should have a water district or not. Hawley says ultimately it'll be up to the voters of Ward County.
We will end up being like other places where the water has been pumped out from beneath them.
Judge Hawley says it will take at least 18 months for CRMWD to build pipeline to pump water out of that area. In the studio, Jennifer Samp, CBS 7 News.
Jennifer, thanks so much. Welcome. Clouds in the sky to start off our work week and even some rain in parts of the area.
Yeah, not here though. But is there a chance any of it will stick around? Let's find out right now as Weather Director Craig Stewart is standing by with a look outside. Craig.
Jay Tatum, yeah, it's been going on the last couple of days, some isolated showers, thunderstorms. So we'll show you what's going on with the pinpoint 4x4 radar. And again, everything is in the mountainous areas, the adjacent plains moving toward the north. Over the last hour, this is what it has looked like. So you can kind of see the showers just moving northward at about north to northeast at about 10 miles an hour. That is the very latest on the radar. Nothing over the Permian Basin. Early evening forecast, partly cloudy skies, should be right around 87 at 10 o'clock. Southeast winds a little bit breezy this evening at about 10 to 20. We've got a lot more weather. Your 7-day forecast coming up in a bit.
Craig, thanks. The Odessa Lake is almost completely dry, but not because of the lack of rain. The lake at Memorial Gardens Park looks dismal compared to its normal levels. The city drained some of the water months ago in order to repair the walkway around the pond, but our hot conditions have dried it up even more. The city says that the construction is still going on, and until then, the lake will have to remain dry. They also say reclamated water will be used when the time comes.
While they usually come in under their water allotment, the Big Spring City Council is meeting this week to talk about the future of their water usage. Tomorrow night, they'll be discussing alternatives and precautions because of the recently enforced 20% cut to water allotment. Big Spring City leaders say they are down to using only groundwater and that they are only trying to plan ahead in case things get worse with the water situation in West Texas.
The future of the Midland County Public Library has been the center of controversy, and today commissioners met to hear public opinion on its possible relocation.
Dozens showed up to voice their opinions on this matter. CBS 7's Robert Guadarrama is in the studio to tell us what they're saying. Robert?
Jay Tatum, after taking a vote last week to bid on a possible new location for the library, the commissioners are now hearing out public opinion on the matter. County Judge Mike Bradford said this is the most public input he's seen in years. The issue is a result of a study conducted by the county that showed that the library underserved a large portion of the community because of its location. The new building of interest is the former Mervyn's off Loop 250 in Midland. Today, people had a lot to say about the possible move.
It is located much closer to the center of population. Downtown Midland is not central Midland by a long shot.
Southeast Midland will be literally just left without a library. We're depriving that community of an access for them to learn, an access for them to have a computer, to be able to get some assistance with homework.
County Judge Mike Bradford says that nothing is set in stone, but one thing is for sure, he is not for raising taxes to pay for the possible move. No action was taken today. The commissioner will be reviewing potential bids for the current building for the next 90 days. They are asking for a minimum bid of $3 million. The commissioners are happy to have so much public interest in the matter and encourage anyone to voice their concerns. Their next meeting is on Monday, July 25th at 9 a.m. In the studio, Robert Guadarrama, CBS 7 News.
Thank you, Robert. A warrant has yet to be issued for the man police say rear-ended a car and sent another into a passing train. The crash happened last week at a railroad crossing at 2nd and Dixie. Police say Stephen Vance Lane may have been drunk when he hit the car and collided with the train, sending a 27-year-old woman and her 1-year-old daughter to the hospital. Odessa police tell us they are awaiting lab results. CBS 7 has also learned Lane was convicted for a DWI back in 1993.
And a unanimous vote by Ector County Commissioners has closed another railroad crossing they say is dangerous. Union Pacific also says the area at Cargo Road and Business 20 is the most dangerous in the state of Texas. The decision to close the intersection comes after a long debate between Penatech Industries CEO Jim Reese, whose company relied on that intersection. Reese now worries that the heavy traffic flow will be rerouted to another intersection, ultimately taking liability off Union Pacific and putting it on the county. Union Pacific closed that intersection immediately after the vote this morning.
There's still more to come on CBS 7 News. One of the largest employers in Pecos is one step closer to having its debts resolved in Chapter 11. We'll take a look at what they're deciding in bankruptcy court.
And grass fires continue to break out in our hot temperatures. We'll look at what firefighters are dealing with this afternoon.
Showers and thunderstorms around parts of West Texas. We'll let you know how long that will last, and triple digits on the way. We'll tell you about it. In the next couple of days, the favored locations is what you're looking at. Mountainous areas, Trans-Pecos region. Unfortunately for us in the Permian Basin,
wish they'd share with us.
We need it.
Yeah, we do.
All right, Craig, thanks very much.
Thanks, Craig. Still ahead, the debts of Trans-Pecos Foods will soon be decided in bankruptcy court.
And those hot and dry temperatures continue to be a hassle for our local fire crews working to keep us safe. We'll take a look at what they're dealing with today, coming up after the break. You're watching CBS 7 News, your eye on West Texas. A number of grass fires south of Odessa kept crews busy for much of the afternoon. This blaze on South 385 near the Ector County Detention Center had crews out there just before 10 o'clock this morning. No structures were damaged in the blaze, and they are still working to determine what caused it. And the fire then reignited just after 1 o'clock this afternoon as crews were trying to keep hot spots from spreading. Crews are pleading with you to please be careful when you're outside and don't throw cigarettes from your car window.
A month after Trans-Pecos Foods files Chapter 11 and shuts their doors in Pecos, the matter of their debts will be decided in court. There have already been several preliminary hearings held in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court in El Paso. On Thursday, the Pecos Economic Development Corporation will also be represented in the hearing. Trans-Pecos Foods had been paying for loans through them to modernize their equipment. The company first filed bankruptcy in early June after closing their Pecos plant and laying off almost 90 workers.
Ryan Wilkerson joins us now with Sports Major League Baseball All-Stars.
That's right. Tonight is the Home Run Derby. Tomorrow is the All-Star Game. We'll talk about that in a second. But first, let's get to our trivia question sponsored by...
Entertainment Tonight is coming up next.
You make it a great evening.